మీ ఆడియో వస్తుంది సార్. Have you checked it, sir?
Meeting.
Jason Murthy garu, please check your audio, sir. Sir, వినపడుతుందండి జేసన్ గారు?
I can't hear sound. సత్తమే కీర్తించు.
జేసన్ గారు వినపడుతుందండి? యా, మీ ఆడియో తక్కువ ఉంది. నా ఆడియో లాగా వస్తుంది. వినయ్ గారు, నా ఆడియో వినపడుతుంది సార్? వినయ్ గాంధీ గారు, ఆర్ యు ఏబుల్ టు హియర్ మీ?
శ్రీకాంత్ గారు, మీ ఆడియో బాగుందండి శ్రీకాంత్ గారు.
ఓకే. జేసన్ గారి ఆడియో తక్కువ ఉన్నట్టుంది.
అవునండి, కొంచెం స్లో ఉంది వాయిస్, వాయిస్ స్లోగా ఉంది జేసన్ గారిది.
జేసన్ గారు మొబైల్ లో లాగిన్ అయ్యారా మీరు? అయితే ఒకలా చేయండి, వీడియో ఆపేసి ఫోన్ దగ్గర పట్టుకుంటే మీకు వచ్చేస్తుంది. యాక్చువల్ గా ఈ రోటరీ సౌండ్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు సరిపోతుంది. దగ్గర పెట్టి మాట్లాడండి ఒకసారి. యా, ఇట్స్ ఓకే, ఇట్స్ నాట్ క్లియర్. మేడం రచన గారు, వెల్కమ్ అండి. డాక్టర్ గారు, వెల్కమ్ టు ద ప్రోగ్రామ్. వెల్కమ్ అండి. ఐపీపీ గాంధీ గారు, వెల్కమ్ సార్. గాంధీ గారు, వెల్కమ్, నమస్కారం. Okay, I request Rotarian Jason Murthy garu and Rotarian Vinay Gandhi garu to please invoke the Rotary song.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I start, sir? May I continue?
Yes, sir. Jason garu and Gandhi garu. Yes, sir. Vinay Gandhi garu.
Someone saying something. We have to mute our mic.
And voice saying it is not so really clear actually. So Vinay Gandhi garu, yes sir.
सहायता फर्ज अहिया करी, इसका नाम रोटरी, इसका नाम रोटरी। सकल विश्व में बहाना प्रेम भाव आकरी, इसका नाम रोटरी, इसका नाम रोटरी। पूंजीपति कामगार मिलकर करे कारोबार, अपने देश की करेंगे एक चाकरी, इसका नाम रोटरी, इसका नाम रोटरी। सकल विश्व अपना नाम सबको मार्ग यही बताना, रोटरी, इसका नाम रोटरी।
Thank you, sir. Welcome, my dear Rotarians. Welcome to this day, the 6th December, Sunday, for the family get-together and especially for the health program of today's. So yes, I request the members to please come on to their videos so that we can see each other and we can start up the program. The participant can join us on video conference. That will be better because this is not a webinar. It will be nice if all of us can be on video. It will be having a networking. Yes. So, my dear friends, before I go into today's agenda of the program, I request our Joint Secretary, Rotarian Vinay Gandhi Garu, to please give the Secretary's report of this month and the last month. Vinay Gandhi Garu, you can
Please allow
actually...
me to share the screen.
Yes, sir, it is already allowed, please.
Oh, okay.
The settings are changed.
Yeah. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir, perfect.
Yes.
అండి yes.
Yeah, good evening everyone. అందరికీ స్వాగతం. ఈసారి సెక్రటరీ రిపోర్ట్ ప్రెజెంట్ చేసే అవకాశం నాకు ఇచ్చినందుకు శ్రీకాంత్ గారికి అండ్ మోదాంక గారికి నాకు వెరీ థ్యాంక్ యూ. అండ్ ఈసారి ఇన్ ద మంత్ ఆఫ్ నవంబర్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఇది మనం చేసిన సర్వీసెస్ అంటే ఆల్ ద యాక్టివిటీస్ ఇన్ ద మంత్ ఆఫ్ నవంబర్. అండ్ ఇంటరాక్ట్ క్లబ్ వీక్ ఒకటి సెలబ్రేట్ చేసాము. అది ఆల్మోస్ట్ 100 ఇంటర్నెట్ క్లబ్స్ కి కూడా 10 జోన్స్. సో ఆల్ 10 జోన్స్ లో కూడా మనము ఇంటరాక్ట్ క్లబ్ వీక్ సెలబ్రేట్ చేయడం జరిగింది. పిల్లలకి కాంపిటీషన్స్ పెట్టడం, దానికి మళ్ళీ మనము ప్రైజెస్ ఇవ్వడం కూడా జరిగింది. సో ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ ఇస్ దట్ ఇంటరాక్ట్ క్లబ్. అండ్ ఇదంతా కూడా బాగా ఈవెన్ లోకల్ న్యూస్ పేపర్స్ లో వాటిలో కూడా బాగా కవర్ అయ్యింది. అండ్ ఈవెన్ ఇఫ్ యూ సీ ఈవెన్ ద స్క్రీన్ షాట్స్ ఆఫ్ ద newspaper clippings also are attached in this. Even in all the places, even competitions and COVID norms
chronic healing empathy
అందరూ మాస్కులు ధరించి అన్ని చేశారు. The prize distribution. And even valedictory with వీళ్ళకి ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ కూడా జరపడం జరిగింది. సో ఇవన్నీ కూడా పేపర్ లో స్టార్టింగ్ అండ్ ఎండింగ్ ఆర్ ఆల్సో వెరీ వెల్ కవర్డ్ బై ఆల్ ద లోకల్ న్యూస్ పేపర్స్. అండ్ 4th November మనకి we have that ముఖాముఖి with the expert with regarding consumer rights with Habib Sultan Ali garu. That also is a very good program which is conducted. And our monthly program of Jnanananda Ashramam groceries, which is given on 11th of November. And we thank AVRK Kumar garu and Mayank Dio Madam garu for their for the groceries distribution for this month. And also for Jan Yuva Foundation, we have given milk packets for them, monthly milk packets. This is a monthly program which is being going on. And on 18th of this, we have joint meeting of all the clubs on diabetes by Dr. Vasant Kumar. Even this is also well taken by the members, and he has given very good tips for control of diabetes nowadays. And Rotary Foundation seminar kuda jarigindi 29th of November. Adi kuda mana members andaru active ga participate chesaru. And even Aziz Minan from Pakistan it is very అంటే చాలా వినదగిన స్పీచ్, చాలా బాగా చెప్పారు ఆయన. అండ్ 29th November మైక్రో వీడియో మాస్టర్ కోర్స్ బై అభిజిత్ ఆర్య, ఇది కూడా బాగా జరిగింది. చాలా మంది పార్టిసిపేట్ చేశారు. అండ్ ఆయన కూడా రోటరీ క్లబ్ మెంబర్స్ కి ఆఫర్ ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది, డిస్కౌంట్ ప్రైస్ ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది. సో ఈవెన్ దిస్ ఇస్ ఆల్సో డన్. అండ్ ప్రోటీన్ ఫుడ్, మనము ఈ ప్రోటీన్ ఫుడ్ కూడా డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ చేయడం జరిగింది ఆ వాలెడిక్టరీ ఫంక్షన్ లోనే. ఈవెన్ ఇవి కూడా these are the things that has happened in the month of November. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Secretary garu. That's really nice, and the complete information has been really clearly given to all our members. Thank you so much. Yes, my dear members, in the month of November chala active ga manam programs cheyadam jarigindi. At the same time, mana taluka profiles ki we have added one more organization, Geneva Foundation add cheyadam jarigindi. Vallu kuda istunam manam. At the same time, మన VCC చిల్డ్రన్స్ క్లబ్ తరపున ఉన్నటువంటి మన ఇంటరాక్ట్ స్టూడెంట్స్ కూడాను we have started going the grassroots level approach also. మనకి ఈ మంత్ కూడా ఇంకా మనకి చాలా ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఉన్నాయి దానికి సంబంధించినవి. డిసెంబర్ లో కూడా we are going to start it off. At the same time, from all of our Rotarians, I would like to sincerely extend our wishes and heartful wishes for the people who are celebrating their wedding anniversaries and birthdays. So especially birthdays వచ్చేసరికి మన Rotarian Valli Uppala garu and James Abraham Anand garu and Mangaraj garu and PP Mittal Garu are celebrating their birthdays in this week. Happy birthday, sir. Birthday to all of you. And wedding anniversary, we have Rotarian PS Mohan Kumar Garu and Lakshmi Garu are celebrating their wedding anniversaries. Let us wish them. And upcoming next week, Sunil Chaudhary Garu wedding anniversary kuda undandi. Let us all wish them wonderful life ahead on this particular event. Thank you so much. And yes, today we are here for a particular agenda. Manaki health gurinchi maatladaniki manam we are taking single point agenda programs manam regular ga chestunnam. So this week we are having this particular program on alternative therapies and alternative therapies alaka advantages gurinchi kuda maatladutunnam. So today we have with us Dr. Rachana Garu is there with us, who is a healer, who is an alternative therapist. So welcome ma'am, welcome to today's program. Welcome ma'am. So in this particular thing, let me just give some introduction about ma'am before we start this program. So we have with us Rachana Rabindranath Garu. So ma'am is an alternative therapist. She is a Sujok therapist and she is into Chinese meridian acupuncture also. She is a Reiki master and she is a yoga trainer and she is a certified yoga trainer. Apart from this, she is into energy-based alternative therapies and also she is into children psychology and children special trainings kuda chestuntaru. So she is there in Tamil Nadu and she has been in Andhra Pradesh for a long period of time. And also she is addressing multiple domains of health in energy field, connecting from Indian systems to Chinese systems and various cultures kuda actually she is working on them. So in this regard, I would like to welcome Rachana Garu for today's program. Welcome ma'am.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. So I request all our members to please come on video. So this will be an interactive program today where she'll be giving us, so she has requested our members, there'll be two types of program today. One is as a speaker mate, she is going to give us some science about this particular technologies and healing methods. At the same time, ivala konni kriyelu mancha change cheyanapudu she is actually ready. She is going to give us some practice sessions also. Practice sessions ki I request the people to participate. So basing on the audience participation best cheskoni she'll be going ahead. Yes ma'am. So thank you ma'am. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you so much, Shrikant Garu, for the very kind introduction. And thank you, Rotary Club, for for this opportunity for me to share my thoughts, whatever I have learned all these years. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And I thank each one of them who are present here for taking your time to be here today. Thank you so much. Let me start with my own experience of what I learned. In 2006, I joined a course, diploma in yoga. And when I joined the course, I was honestly thinking about, going upside down, bending backwards. That is exactly what I thought I would be learning. But to my surprise, it was very different. What I learned there was very different. It taught me so many aspects about life. It taught me what nature is, how we could connect with it, what we are as a person, what we are in relationship to the nature, and our true identity. It taught me many perspectives of life. So with these learnings, I would like to share a few thoughts with you people. The first area I would like to talk about is the science of disease. Now, how the alternative medicines, whether it's the yoga or Ayurveda or acupuncture, the science of acupuncture, how it is looking. Just a minute. Okay, how these sciences are looking at the body and the disease as such. Shrikant Garu, can you share the screen?
Yes. Okay. PowerPoint మీరు ఇచ్చారు అదా మేడం? Okay, 1 second. I'm sharing. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So namaste, Adi, and welcome to this program once again. Next screen, please. Okay, WHO, the World Health Organization, has given a definition for health. So it says health is a state of complete physical, mental, social well-being and not merely an absence of disease. I actually added the emotional and the spiritual aspect also, because this is the definition which is even given by the WHO. At every level of awareness, there has to be a balance. We have to be balanced in the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual aspect of our being. That is what health is all about. So it's the same thing the yogic concepts also talk about in the same, this is the same language even the yogic concepts talks about. Can you put the next screen for me, please? But the science of yoga looks at the body in a very, very different way. It just does not look at the body as just as this gross physical body. It looks at the body at many, many different levels because we are a multi-dimensional being. And we have a different levels of awareness through which all our experiences are filtered. And that is how we take all our experience through different levels of awareness which we hold. So let's see the yogic concept of disease, how yoga looks at a disease and what does it call as a disease and what is the cause of a disease from a yogic perspective. Next screen, please. The yoga philosophy talks of us, of our body, as 5 levels of being. It talks about us as the Annamaya Kosha, the Pranamaya Kosha, the Manonmaya Kosha, the Vijnanamaya Kosha, and the Anandamaya Kosha. Now, what does Kosha mean? Kosha means the layers or the dimensions of what we are, the different dimensions that we hold. The only dimension which we are able to see is the Annamaya Kosha, which is the physical body or the gross body. It is called the Annamaya Kosha because it is majorly dependent on food for its growth. So this is the gross body and it is the anatomy, the structure, the physical components of the body, the liver, the stomach, the heart, the physical component of our physical body, which is based majorly on the food that we take, the intake of the food. So you can understand it something like this. The analogy what I can give you is a person, a single person is a spouse, is a parent, is a in-law, a friend. So one person has many perspectives and many relationships but it is a one single person. So it is the same way the one person has many levels of awareness, how we experience and perceive life and how we react or behave and how we do things and how we receive things. Okay. The next level. So now let's not look at it as kosha resistant sheets. It's not different. It's all intermingled. All of them are together and all of them work together to make us who we are and to help us transcend as a person and to our level of well-being. So we can utilize these concepts to reach a level of well-being mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Now the Pranamaya Kosha. The Pranamaya Kosha is the sheath of energy. Now this is where the subtlety starts. Till the Annamaya Kosha, it is at a very gross level. We perceive the physical body. We can see it, we can touch it, we can feel it, we can see it we can feel it with our 5 senses. But from the Pranamaya Kosha, it is just starting to become subtle. From the Pranamaya Kosha to the Anandamaya Kosha, it becomes subtle and subtle and subtle. And at the Anandamaya Kosha, it becomes at a transcendental level. So the Pranamaya Kosha is the Kosha of just energy. And this is the Kosha which it's like a bridge between the mind and the body. The Manonmaya Kosha is the mind, or rather we can call it as the emotional body or the mind, the mental body. So this pranamaya kosha is a bridge between the annamaya kosha, between the physical body and the emotional or the mental body or the mind. So this pranamaya kosha is based only on energy. For example, we can take the breath. So this breath, what we take in, nourishes the pranamaya kosha. Everything nourishes because they are all intermingled. All of them are just intermingled. And the breath specifically nourishes the pranamaya kosha. And we can alter whatever that we want. Using our breath, we can alter the pranamaya kosha. The manomaya kosha is the kosha of the mind, of our thinking, and it gives us a sense of self, of who we are. The Vijnanamaya kosha is a kosha of higher intellect or the wisdom. Till the Manonmaya kosha, it is subtle, but then it still has a sense of I. The ego and the I is still there. But when it comes to Vijnanamaya kosha, it still transcends. The sense of I is lost and the sense of we is there. For example, the forgiveness comes from the Vijnanamaya kosha. But the sense of I wanted, comes from the Manomaya kosha. So the Vijnanamaya kosha is the kosha of discrimination and a higher intellect or a wisdom. And the Anandamaya kosha is a state of bliss where it is completely, where the sense of I is completely diluted, and I and the universe are no different, and I and the universe are the one. That is the feeling we have. All the enlightened souls are all in the Anandamaya kosha. Now let's talk about, now we have understood what the koshas are, but let's understand what causes diseases, how diseases from the yogic perspective and from the level of the koshas, how diseases are created in the body. So the diseases can be termed in terms of two categories. One is the adija and the other is the anadija. So the adija diseases basically comes from the manonmaya kosha. It is because of a wrong thinking. When I say wrong, I mean which does not serve the physical body to live its life in its full energetic and in the level of, where it is in the optimum level where it is supposed to be. So that is what I mean by right. There's no question of right or wrong, but let's say in the Manonmaya kosha, I have a thought of I create a thought of jealousy or anger. So what happens is the Manonmaya kosha first gets disturbed. So there are a lot of thoughts. There are so many connecting thoughts, and especially with the anger, I create a lot of negative thoughts, maybe about a person or about the situation. I create so many things. I link so many things. He did this to me. She did this to me. How could they do this? The sense of ego, the I, and the thought of anger, they are so much intermingled, and I really lose the sense of I, and the thought really takes over me completely. And when this happens, the pranamaya kosha gets disturbed. So the first thing when you get angry, if you notice, the first thing, the physiological change in your body which happens in you is your change of your breath. The breath changes first, and the other physiological changes happens later. But the first thing what you can notice is your breath becomes hotter, it becomes faster, and it becomes when you are in a very, very restless state. So the one of the causes of disease is the disturbance in the manonmaya kosha, which disturbs the pranamaya kosha. But this does not settle down immediately in the annamaya kosha. Immediately it does not settle, because once you get angry, you don't see so much of changes in the body, in the physical body. Maybe we might have a little bit of disturbance in terms of a sleep, a little bit of disturbance in terms of a digestion for that one particular day, unless until we let it go. But let's say this continues for a longer time. One day I hold anger, one day I hold jealousy, one day I hold grief. Every day I hold something or a lot of stress when I'm so stressed out with my work or my family life. So when I hold all these stresses or these negative emotions for a longer time, the pranamaya, the manonmaya kosha is really disturbed. now disturbs the pranamaya kosha. And now the pranamaya kosha disturbs the annamaya kosha, and it settles there as a disease. It could be a high BP, a hypertension, or it could be a tumor, or it could be cancer. It could be just anything. But then it is all stemming from the manonmaya kosha. So this is one set of disease that we can talk about. The anadija is something more related to our lifestyle, where we don't exercise properly, or we don't eat properly, or we go to a place where we drink dirty water, or we eat a very unhygienic food. So we might get a food poisoning, or we fall down and we get a fracture, accidents. So all these are anadija, which does not come under the it doesn't come under the manonmaya kosha. It comes more of the lifestyle. So this is a lifestyle. So this is also equally important, where we need to bring in changes in our lifestyle in terms of our exercise that we do, in terms of the diet that we take. Simply put, we can simply say it's very important to notice, or very, very important to see what we put into our body in terms of our food, in terms of exercise, and in terms of our thoughts. So when people generally come for healing, especially when it comes to allergies, the first question I ask them is, now, what are you allergic to? Who are you allergic to? And what situations are you allergic to? Now ask yourself these questions. Now, if you're not able to get out of a situation where the situation you are not very comfortable with, we have to learn to accept it. So the acceptance becomes very, very important. So that is one of the major things for Annamaya Kosha. For Manonmaya Kosha. So for that Manonmaya Kosha to come to the level of acceptance, what is to be activated is the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Now let's see how we can work with these bodies. For the Pranamaya Kosha, it is majorly the pranayama that we can do. For the Annamaya Kosha, it is asanas, but the asanas can also influence the Pranamaya Kosha and the Manonmaya Kosha to a larger extent, because all three of them are so intermingled. Actually, if you see, there's no difference between them. The grosser body, the mind is a grosser, the mind is the grosser mind, and that is the body. And the subtler aspect of the body is the mind. So actually, if you see, there's no difference, except that it is just a grosser level and it is just at a subtler level. But then we can influence each one of these. We have many tools to influence each one of these aspects, and we can balance all these koshas, and we get to a level of good health. So that is what we've been talking about. So Pranamaya Kosha, for the Pranamaya Kosha, what we use is generally pranayama. And for the Manonmaya Kosha, the best thing what we can do is awareness. Bringing awareness in everything that you do. And it is, we need to understand that every moment we are making a choice, which we generally don't make the choice. We generally give in and say, this is how the situation is, this is how they are, this is how these people talk. Just because they talk, I get angry. Now, getting angry or not getting angry was a choice that I made somewhere. Though they can talk the way that they want, but then I make a choice of getting angry or not getting angry, or still being very pleasant to them or not being pleasant to them. So I make choices. So the awareness at every level, at every thought, every moment, every action, everything that I do is what strengthens the Manonmaya Kosha and the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Next screen, please. So now let's see how the other sciences are looking at health. So there is another concept of chakras. There are chakras, there are nadis. So when I say koshas are not the only level of awareness how the yoga looks at a physical body. There are other levels also, like the chakras, the nadis. The yoga talks about 72,000 nadis. They talk about 7 plus chakras. The major chakras are all the 7 chakras. Chakras is one thing we have heard about, but we have not heard so much about the koshas. So that was the reason I wanted to talk about the koshas today. The next screen, please. So Albert Einstein rightly said He said, everything is energy. And he got a Nobel Prize for that. But many years ago, thousands of years ago, our ancients, especially from India, they have really put all these thoughts into all these literatures which we have now. All these, the E is equal to mc square, which means everything is energy. So later, even Albert Einstein, he said, concerning matter, we have been all wrong. What we have called matter is really energy. This is exactly what is there. This is exactly what our ancients spoke in terms of Ayurveda or in terms of yoga or in terms of acupuncture. All these things, this is what exactly what they spoke. But we really failed to look at these things. And even till today, we really fail to look at these things, and we really go behind things which are much grosser things, and we don't look at the energetic aspect of anything that we do. So he says we have called, what we have called matter is really energy whose vibration has been lowered as to be perceivable to the senses. So what the pranamaya kosha is, the vibration of the pranamaya kosha is so lowered so that we can see the gross matter as the body, and the annamaya kosha's vibrations become so high, the higher vibrations are the anandamaya kosha. So he says there is no matter. The previous king, please. So he says there is absolutely no matter, and there is only energy, and there is only light and sound. So there was another, next thing please. There was another scientist by name Max Planck. So he also came out with the same idea, and listen to what he says. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force. And what is the force they are talking about? They are talking about the prana. See, let's say the physical organ is there. The physical organ is there, but it is only an anatomy. It is only a physical, it's something like an object. It's just like your table. It's just like your phone, or it's just like any other object. But what animates the heart or what animates the lung is the prana. That's exactly what he has told here. So because generally when we say, even in Telugu, when we say prana modale seru, so which means the prana has left the body. That is what we say when a person leaves the body or when a person dies. This is exactly what we say. Like even in Tamil, we say prana navangada, which means when we say prana, here we are referring to life itself. That is what we are talking about. We are not talking about the body. The body is animated only with the life force or the prana. So he says Max Planck, he got a Nobel Award in the year 1918 for this. So he says all matter originates and exists only by a virtue of force. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. So what he's talking about is this prana, what we are talking about, or the life force, has its own innate intelligence. So when we're talking about intelligence, for example, let us say we eat, when we are having a lunch, we have a mouth or extra maybe 2 or 3 pieces of sweets today. Now, how does the body senses that it needs to produce more insulin for today, and then it produces and balances the glucose level in the blood so that it does not become more in the blood. So this prana, everything, but when you want to run, let's say you want to run today, your heart rate increases, your blood flow increases, the muscles and all gets activated, the blood flow to your muscles gets, really the flow becomes high, your breath rate becomes high, your heart rate becomes high. So now who these things? So it is the innate intelligence in us which is able to pick up what we need to do. When it becomes hot, the body sweats a lot because it has to come back to the normal temperature again. So this is called as the homeostasis. So the homeostasis is maintained by the energetic body and not by the anatomical structures in the body. So this mind is the matrix of all matter. So all the matter is animated only by this force or the prana, which the Chinese call as chi, the Indians call as prana, and the Japanese call as ki. We have heard of the word called Reiki. So that is where this, Reiki means the ki comes from the vital force which they are working on. Re means the universal and ki means the prana or the vital force. So there they are working on the universal life force. The Chinese called it as chi, and the Chinese, they have a different set of the energy flow. They have come out with a different set of energy flow in the body. The prana which flows in a direction where we can tap it to do a healing or a curing the body. Next screen, please. Now let's see how Ayurveda looks at the physical body and how it looks at diseases. Now Ayurveda says what is the entire universe and the physical body is the same, and they are made of the 5 elements. Maybe in nature, the elements might look different to us, but in the body, it looks slightly different. In the nature, summer or the heat, the sunlight, we call it as fire. But in the body temperature, which is much subtler than the sunlight, is the fire. And apart from that, we call something called the digestive fire. The food is digested by something called as a digestive fire. The hydrochloric acid, which produces a lot of heat for the burning to happen. And for the food to transform into energy, the hydrochloric acid, which is secreted, creates a lot of heat in the body. And this heat is also considered as fire in the body. So what is out in the nature and what is there in the in our physical body might slightly differ, but then they are all based on the same principle of the 5 elements, which is existing outside, and it is the same in here. So Ayurveda says our physical body is made up of 5 elements. They are the space, the fire, the space, air, earth, and the water. And these 5 elements, how do they manifest, or how do they show up in our body? Next screen, please. So they combine the space and air, and that becomes vata. So what is this vata, pitta, and kapha in Ayurveda? So this is our prakriti. The Ayurveda says when we are born with a certain constitution or a prakriti. And this prakriti, they call it as the vata, pitta, and kapha, which is a combination of these 5 elements which manifest in different forms. The 5 elements combine in different ratios and in different possibilities, and they make up this prakriti called as the vata, pitta, and kapha for the functioning of the body. So Ayurveda says when there is an imbalance in the vata, pitta, and kapha in a body, and then there is a disease. So vata is the combination of space and air. Pitta is a combination of fire and water, and kapha is the combination of earth and water. So now vata is a subtle energy. It is more associated with the movement. So when we say movement, it is not just about raising the hands. It also means the movement of the blood, the movement of the air, the movement of the food, the movement of the feces, all the movements in the body it comes under vata. So the pitta is the metabolic system. The metabolic system which we have comes under the pitta. And the kapha is generally the body's structure, the bones, the muscles, the tendons. Now, we have to understand one thing. This vata, pitta, and kapha, it is not in equal proportions in everybody. It is not 33.3, 33.3, 33.3. No, it is not like that. Each of us are born with a particular constitution which is much more dominant. Some people will be kapha dominated, some people will be vata dominated, and some people will be pitta dominated. But they do have the other constitution also, sorry, the other prakritis also, but they have it in a lesser ratio, but this is very dominating for them. Next screen, please. So it's in the body, the Ayurveda says the 5 elements express themselves as the vata, pitta, and kapha, and the vata, pitta, and kapha constitution, with what constitution we have come, we have to maintain that constitution, and to maintain that constitution, we have to eat. It is the same thing which is spoken the right food in right quantities, right amount of sleep, and still Ayurveda still goes deeper and it says what a pitta can eat, a kapha cannot eat, and what a kapha can eat, a vata cannot eat. So the kind of food that is eaten by each constitution also determines your health. But on a baseline, we can just take it on a baseline and we can say, eat only seasonal foods, don't eat a lot of fried items. So these baselines can be taken as a generalized thing for everybody. So eat a lot of fruits, fresh vegetables, eat proteins. So all these things are definitely required. But apart from that, there is still they bifurcate they come down to prakriti at still a subtler level, and they still say what can be eaten, what shouldn't be eaten, what should be the lifestyle, what should, for example, they say for a pitta body, they don't have to exercise a lot because the metabolic rate is already very high. But for a kapha, the metabolic rate is very, very low. That is why they easily put on weight. They are basically a little lazy than the pitta. Pitta and vata, generally they are on their toes. And it is the same thing with the mental makeup also. A pitta person gets angry very fast. But a kapha person, it's very, very difficult. They're very pleasing personality. It's very, very difficult for a kapha person to get angry. So it's a different level. The personality of a person also depends on the constitution what we bring. Now, here it does not mean that we have to be tied down to this. The challenge for us is to balance all these elements and still transcend all this and still go to the level of Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya Kosha. So that is the challenge and that is our goal. So we cannot be, I cannot say, I am a pitta person, I really get angry all the time. And just because I'm a pitta, I'm like this. No, we can't take excuses. Now it's a challenge that we need to transcend this with food, with exercise, with right thoughts, and with sadhana or practice. Next slide, please. Now let's see how how acupuncture looks at health and diseases. I'm sure this picture is something which is very, very common. All of you would have seen in many, many places. So acupuncture says this world is a world of duality. Duality in the sense it is made up of day and night, hot and cold, heaven and earth, and we are living in between the heaven and the earth energies. The sun and the moon, the humidity and dryness, ascending energy and descending energy, fluids and energy, calm and expressive, death and birth. So these are the things we live in a duality. And again, balancing these two dual, male and female, that's the major polarity which we can actually see. So we live in these duality, and it is again a challenge how we balance this duality and still maintain a good and a sound health and a mind. The Indians call the same concept as the Ardhanarishwara. It is the same concept which they call it as the Ardhanarishwara. Now, this duality, the energy of duality, the energies of the day and night, the male and female, which come together to make one whole unit, they again express themselves as 5 elements even in the science of acupuncture. Next screen, please. Okay. So even in acupuncture, it is expressed as the 5 elements itself. So these 5, it's again, we need to balance these 5 elements. Acupuncture uses thin, small needles to balance these 5 elements. It uses thin, small needles. We can use pressure, we can use touch, we can use needles, we can use seeds, which create a current or a bioenergy in our body. Seeds like pepper, you must have heard about the seed therapy, where they use seeds, they use pepper, they use green gram, the methi seeds, all these for healing, all these are used for healing. So again, in acupuncture, the idea is again to balance the 5 elements and to balance the duality here. Now, I would just want you to look at these 2 points, the name of the points and specifically, the previous screen, please. Okay, there is one point on the back, which is exactly at the back of the navel. It is called Mingmen, or the gate of life. This is a very, very important point, which is used generally in any healing. And this is one of the points which is used in martial arts. They call this point as the Dantian. And look at the name. It says the gate of life, or the gate of destiny. And it is one of the best points, and it is the strongest points to strengthen the overall constitution. So we have many, many modalities what we can use to keep ourselves in good physical and in mental health. Now, why I'm asking you, why I have put up this point specifically is because when we do the meridian tapping, we are going to touch the Mingmen. That is the first point to be touched. So that is the reason I have put up this point. And look at the names, how beautiful they are. And they really, actually, all these points, there are a few points which are very, very beautiful. And all these points are really work miracles and wonders in the body, where they transform the energy. Let's say a person, for example, let's say a person is having constipation or insomnia. Okay, constipation. Now, what is the cause? What is the, even if you don't look at the 5 elements, now let's say what is the cause, what could be the cause of constipation? First thing, there is no movement. We spoke about movement. First thing, there is no movement. Second, there could be excessive heat, which is drying up. So there is no water and there is no heat and there is lack of movement. So with acupuncture, we can increase the movement, we can increase the wind, we can reduce the heat, we can increase the water. So all these things are possible using these acupuncture points, and that is how healing happens. So the basic idea again is all these acupuncture points, they lie on the pranamaya kosha. So we are again accessing the pranamaya kosha only here. So the point that I'm trying to stress here is the pranamaya kosha is the one of the major things wherever we can access to change anything in the body in terms of our health and in terms of our mind. When you want to touch even the Manonmaya kosha, the Pranamaya kosha is better. And even if you want to touch the Annamaya kosha, the Pranamaya kosha is the best. Because when you're doing anything with the Annamaya kosha, maybe you might not be able to influence a lot of the Manonmaya kosha, but the Pranamaya kosha, when you touch the Pranamaya kosha, it is a bridge between the mind and the body, and it is very, very easy when you are touching the Pranamaya kosha. And all these sciences which I spoke about, the Ayurveda, the acupuncture, the yoga system of pranayama, asana, all these sciences only talk about the pranamaya kosha. How do we touch the pranamaya kosha? Even the mudras, the bandhas that we use, all these only are based on the pranamaya kosha, or changing the energetic circuit of our body, which changes the rest of the things which follows. Because it is a cascading effect. When you change one, the rest of it just flows and just moves and just changes. Next screen, please. So this is another point. It's called Ren 6, which comes just below the umbilicus. And look at the name. It is called the Sea of Chi. And what is Chi? Chi is prana. So Sea of Chi is another major acupuncture point where you can access and you can change the Chi, or the prana of the body. The entire body can be changed. So this is another one of the very, very good points which is generally used in acupuncture for healing. Next screen, please. So apart from the 5 elements, acupuncture also again relates these 5 elements to the 5 organs. Ayurveda does not relate it to the organs, rather they talk about the 5 elements, and it is more related to the Vata, Pitta and Kapha. It could be anywhere in the body. It could be a liver issue or it could be a heart issue, it doesn't matter. But they only talk about in terms of the Vata, Pitta and the Kapha, the imbalance in the Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and how to balance it. So they give medicines for that. They ask you to do maybe a little bit of pranayama and yoga, and they ask you to alter your food to balance the Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So once they come to balance, the disease vanishes. So that's the concept. But acupuncture relates these five organs to, the five elements to the five organs. Now, the element of wood or the wind relates to the liver and the gallbladder. The fire relates to the heart and the small intestine. The earth element relates to the stomach and the spleen. The metal element relates to the lung and the large intestine. And the water element relates to the kidney and the urinary bladder. So let us say there is a problem in the kidneys. We can use the water point to alter the energy of the water in the body. So that is how it works. But again, we are only touching the pranamaya kosha. We are not touching the organs at all. We are not touching the organs, but we are touching the organs through the pranamaya kosha, but not directly. Though we are doing it on the gross body, but we are touching all the acupuncture points are there in the pranamaya kosha only. And all these acupuncture points, they hold an electrical charge. For example, there is a point called Li4 here. There is a point called large intestine 4. Now, this point holds a lot of electrical conductivity, but when you go a little further, that electrical conductivity is not there. So initially, when they're doing a lot of research on whether do the acupuncture points, do they exist, and the acupuncture meridians, is there really a flow? And they came to know that all the acupuncture points hold a lot of electrical conductivity, much higher than the rest of the parts of the body. Next slide, please. Okay, so the acupuncture, the flow of energy and how we can access the pranamaya kosha is through something called as the meridian system. The meridian system is a flow of energy related to the five elements and related to the five organs, 5 into 2, because each organ has a pair. For example, the lung and the large intestine are always together. The heart and the small intestine are always together. But then we talk about only as the 5 organs, but it's 5 into 2. So the 5 organs, they express themselves there is a particular direction through which the energy flows, and we can access them through these points. But then what are we touching is we are touching the pranamaya kosha, and we are touching the organs. Through the pranamaya kosha, we are touching the organs, and also we are touching the 5 elements. So that is how acupuncture works. Next screen, please. So generally we use very subtle small needles on the body to, so the meridians are all the lung, the large intestine, the stomach, spleen, heart, small intestine, urinary bladder, the kidney, the pericardium, the triple wormer, the gallbladder, and the liver. Now, there's one more thing I would like to add to this. All these organs are again related to the sense organs. So the liver relates to the eyes. So if there's any problem with the eyes, what treatment do we do is we take the liver meridian and we can touch the eyes through the liver meridian. The kidneys are related to the ears. If you see, the shape of the kidney and the shape of the ears is very, very similar. So the kidney meridian is accessed if there's any point. It could be any issue. It could be the tinnitus, or it could be a problem, just deafness. It could be anything with the ears. But the kidney meridian is accessed to access the ear through the 5 organs, through the 5 elements, and through the pranamaya kosha. Next screen, please. Okay, now shall we do a small pranayama? And the idea of doing the pranayama again is we are accessing the pranamaya kosha, and this pranayama is called the pranava pranayama, where we are also adding in this vibration of sound, and we are adding in mudras to it. Now let me give you a very, very small, just 2-line introduction to what mudras are. Mudras again are related to the 5 elements. The 5 fingers relates to the 5 elements in our body. The little finger, the pinky finger, relates to water. the ring finger relates to earth, the middle finger relates to space, this finger, the index finger relates to air, and this finger, the thumb, relates to fire. So that's how we form mudras. For example, let's say this for example, this is the Prithvi mudra. The Prithvi means the earth. So when you want to balance the earth element in your body, you bring the earth, the finger of the earth to the fire, and it gets balanced here. When you want to reduce it, you put it like this. But when you want to just balance it there, you do not know whether it's high or low. You want to balance the Prithvi. But then you need to know whether the Prithvi is excess or the Prithvi is imbalanced. That we need to know. But then when you want to balance the earth element in your body, so this is the mudra that we do. So this is the basis of mudra. Again, everything goes down only to the 5 elements, and we are again touching only the subtle aspect of the body. We are not touching the gross aspect of the body at all.
So madam, is this the point what you are telling?
Sorry?
The practical session what you said, is it the one that we are going to start now?
Yeah, can we start off with the pranayama? Is it okay with all of you?
Okay. Members, dear friends and Rotarians, so ma'am has specified, now we'll be having a small practical demonstration of doing some energy healing within ourselves, a practical session for us. So shall we all go for it? People can just unmute and they can talk. Shall we go for a practical session now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So I request members to please come on video because ma'am will be giving a practical session. We'll be doing along with ma'am. So she has specified that the more number of people on video only that will be possible because they'll be practically doing it. So if people can come on video now, we can start. All the people, please switch on your videos because it's a practice session now in alternative therapies. So more number of people can come on video, that will be good, and she can start off. Yes, ma'am, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. So in this pranayama, we will be using 3 mudras. Okay, the first one is the chin mudra. This is the chin mudra. The second one is the chinmaya mudra, and the third one is the adi mudra. Adi mudra, you put your thumb towards the little finger, and you just close it like this. This is the adi mudra. So this is the chin mudra. Chin mudra, we have all, it's a very, very common mudra. All of us know about it. Generally, people who do pranayama, people who do meditation, they use this mudra. So it increases memory power, sharpens the brain, prevents insomnia, reduces joint pains, relieves stress and any unnecessary tensions, and promotes better sleep. So basically, this is to calming down the mind. Because what we are addressing is the wind and the fire. So it is the nature of wind is not to settle down. It is always it is always restless. So the mind is always like that. So to balance the mind, we take the air and the fire and we balance it. So the mind gets settled. So that's the idea of the chin mudra. So we are using 3 mudras here: the chin mudra, the chinmaya mudra. Can you all show it to me, please? Can I just look at your hands?
So I'll be adding some more people to this particular screen, my dear Rotarians. Other people also will come onto the stage now. I'll be adding along with ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please continue.
Okay, so the chin mudra, the chinmaya mudra, and the adi mudra. So we are going to use the mudras, and we are going to use the breath, and we are going to use a sound. So these 3 we are going to use to alter the pranamaya kosha. This is a pranayama. It's called pranava pranayama, where we are using the sound, a mudra, and the breath together. Okay. See, the best posture that you can sit with is the either Padmasana, but I would always prefer Vajrasana. My preference is Vajrasana. So you can either sit in Padmasana or Vajrasana, but now since you're sitting on the chairs, it's okay. But next time when you would want to practice, the better option would be sitting on the floor, either with Vajrasana or with Padmasana. All right. Now the process is something like this. So the first we go with chin mudra. You take the chin mudra and you place it on your thighs like this, not like this. you go like this. You place it on your thighs like this, and you breathe in, and then you chant. When you breathe out, you just breathe in, hold your breath, and then when you're breathing out, you chant. All right. The second one. Now, what happens with this is we are opening up the lower center of the lungs and the complete lower portions of the body to prana. All right. The second mudra is a Chinmaya mudra. So you hold the Chinmaya mudra, and the same you put it on your thighs like this. This is a Chinmaya mudra. So you hold this mudra. You just breathe in through your nose, and then when you breathe out, you chant. And the third one, you hold the Adi mudra and you keep it on your thighs like this. And the Chinmaya mudra opens up the middle portion of the lungs, and the middle portion of the body is activated for prana. And this one, the Chinmaya mudra, and the Adi mudra, this one opens up the upper portion of the lungs and the upper portion of your body. All right. So you hold this Adi mudra, you keep it towards your little finger. The fire goes towards the water, and then we close it like this, and then you keep it on your thighs like this. And then what you chant is, you chant and then after these three, you hold the Adi mudra, you put them together and you put them on your umbilicus. You put them on your umbilicus like this together, and then you chant All right, shall we do it once? Is it okay for all of you? Can we do it? I mean, those of you who don't want to chant it loud, you can do it mentally. For those of you who want to chant loudly, can do it loudly. For those of you who don't want to do it loudly, can do it mentally. So it's up to you how you want to do it. So how is it okay? Can we do a session?
Ma'am, can you keep your mobile a little far so that we can see the posture what you're telling? Because now this is about like we have to take the posture and keep it on the thighs you are telling. So we are not able to see the particular mudra itself, how to sit, the correct one. So we may do a mistake. So if we see you, we will not do that mistake.
Okay, so that's why I gave you the instructions before. All right, because I want you to do this by closing your eyes. I don't want you to do this with your eyes open. You have to do this with your eyes closed. And you have to focus on the sound and on your breath. That's very important. Just while sitting and watching TV, doing all these things, it's not going to help. So the main thing is your awareness, and remember one thing, where you put your thoughts, your prana flows. So please remember this. Wherever you put your attention, that is where your prana flows. So when we're talking about one more thing I would like to add, since we were talking about the flow of prana, when we were talking about the pranamaya kosha, the annamaya koshas, when we're talking about the koshas, it is only the physical body which attracts to opposite. Opposite attracts only on a physical level. But on a subtler level, from the pranamaya kosha to the anandamaya kosha, like attracts like. Please remember this. So this is where the theory of the law of attraction on all these things comes. You don't attract what you want, rather you attract what you are. What you are as a person, that is what you always attract. Like attracts like. So wherever you put your attention, prana flows to that place. So I want you to close your eyes, focus on your breath and on the sound, and see where those vibrations are coming from and where do you feel those vibrations in the body. That's very, 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 very important. You do it once, one round, that's enough. But do it with focus. You don't have to do 10 rounds, but you do just one round, but do it with focus and with your complete focus on your breath and on the sound, and see the awareness in your body. Hold that awareness there. That's very, very important. All right.
So once again, can you please explain the steps of this Chin Mudra, ma'am, for the people to do?
Right. All right. I will give you instructions even when you're closing your eyes. All right. I'll give you instructions so you can just keep following. So the first mudra is the Chin Mudra. I just want you to remember only the mudras. The instructions I will give you, you don't have to worry about it. So the first mudra is the Chin Mudra. The second mudra is the Chinmaya Mudra. And the third mudra is the Adi Mudra. And the fourth mudra is the Brahma Mudra, which you keep on your umbilicus. Ma'am, is that okay, ma'am? I mean, can we go ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, now close your eyes. I would request all of you to please keep your videos on, possibly. You can remove the screen so that I can see everybody. Thank you so much. Okay, now close your eyes. And take 3 deep breaths. Bring your focus to your breath and just deep breathing. Breathe in and breathe out. Deep breathing and just bring your focus to your breath. Now take the Chin Mudra in your hand and place it on your thighs. Now breathe in, and when you breathe out, chant Let's repeat this 3 times. Hold your focus on your breath and on the sound and feel the awareness and see where the sound is taking you to. Now breathe in and chant. Once more. Breathe in, and when you breathe out, chant Om. Now again take few deep breaths. Hold your awareness. See where you feel the vibrations of this sound of this chant. See where do you feel those vibrations in your body. Just hold your focus. Now change your mudra to the Chinmaya Mudra. Take deep breaths and bring your focus to your breathing. Now breathe in and chant Breathe in, hold your awareness to your breath, and then as you breathe out, chant Ooh. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, chant Ooh. Now, after you finish, again take deep breaths Bring your focus to your breath and to your body. Feel the awareness, hold that awareness, and see where you're feeling all these vibrations which you have created, along with the mudras, along with the sound. See where you feel it in your body. Just close your eyes. Don't keep your eyes open. Close your eyes and just feel it. Now, do the Adi Mudra. Keep your hands on your thighs. Breathe in and chant. Once again, breathe in and chant. Breathe in and once again chant. See the vibration. You can feel a lot of vibration, especially the head area and the upper portion of your body. Now take deep breaths. Hold on to that vibration and just feel those vibrations in your body. Now go to the Brahma Mudra, the same Adi Mudra. Hold it towards your umbilicus like this. Hold it both together at your umbilicus. Take few deep breaths. Bring your focus to your breath. Breathe in and chant. Sorry. Breathe in and chant in. Do it 3 times. As you're done, just hold those vibrations, deep breathing. Stay there with your eyes closed and feel the vibrations in your body and see the changes. What changes do you see? Okay. Once you're done, slowly open your eyes. Would anybody is interested in sharing their experiences, what they felt in terms of their vibrations, anywhere in the body, what they could sense?
Ma'am, over here, while doing like everything, we used this part. No, ma'am, over here to here we used.
Sorry?
Used the here to here, no, ma'am. This like for me from here to here, it started vibrating, ma'am.
Okay, very good.
And after I finished everything over here, there was a little bit of vibration in my hands, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Very nice. Anybody else would like to share your experience?
హలో హలో మేడం గారు మేడం
చెప్పండి.
నేను చేసిన చాలా హ్యాపీగా ఉందండి. అంటే రిలాక్సేషన్ చాలా వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. డిప్రెషన్, యాంగ్జైటీ మూడ్ కూడా చాలా హ్యాపీగా పోయినవి.
ఓకే.
Remove my body, anxiety, depression, relaxation, and also mind is very calm and keep very freshness in my body and mind also. Thank you very much, madam.
Very nice అండి. ఓకే అండి, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ ఫర్ యువర్ ఫీడ్బ్యాక్. సో ఇఫ్ మీరు ఇన్ కేస్ యు ఆర్ ఏబుల్ టు డూ ఇట్ లైక్ దిస్, వేర్ యు పుట్ యువర్ ఫోకస్ ఆన్ యువర్ బ్రెత్ అండ్ ఆన్ ద సౌండ్, and after you chant, you hold it for some time with few breaths, and you do it like this, the relaxation that you get, the physiological changes that you get, and the way you alter your prana will be magnificent. Trust me, I'm telling you. Anybody else would like to ask anything, or would you like to share your experiences? Any doubts that you have?
Any of our members would like to communicate with ma'am? They can talk.
Excuse me, Auntie, just a minute. Maybe I'll just get some water for myself. Please excuse me.
Please, sure.
Hi, sir. Sir, I forgot to
Hi,
say.
Billy. Good evening. So yes, my dear Rotarians and members. So ఈ ప్రాక్టీస్ సెషన్ కి సంబంధించి ఎవరైనా ఏదైనా మాట్లాడాలి అనుకుంటే మేడం తో మాట్లాడొచ్చు. If you have any questions also, you can ask now, because question answers will be wrapping up in a couple of minutes.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Please
How are
tell me,
you?
ma'am. I'm fine, ma'am. Thank you so much.
This is Ambika Andi. Gurtunana, ma'am.
Oh, yes. బాగా గుర్తుందండి.
Channel
చెప్పండి. ఎలా ఉన్నారండి?
Yeah, ma'am. Good session.
Yeah,
Fantastic
thank you so
session,
much.
ma'am.
Thank you so
Learned
much.
a lot after a long time.
Thank you so much, Auntie.
Thank you so much. You visited our Rotary Club Visakhapatnam.
Oh, yeah. ఏమండి?
వీడియో ఆన్ చేస్తే we can see you also.
Oh,
Sir,
yes.
actual గా ఇక్కడ కొంచెం డల్ గా ఉంది సార్.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am. You are visible. Very nice to see you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Fantastic session.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I hope you really liked it, and I hope you really make use of this. Actually, I had planned for one more thing. I had planned for meridian tapping also, but I really do not know whether we will be able to do it on Zoom. So, andukani, I thought, okay, fine, maybe we can do it some other time. Anesa anukuna.
అవునా? That's really good session. Actually, ఇప్పుడున్న సినారియోకి everyone needs some tips and tricks. So you've given us like wonderful tips and tricks, ma'am. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
And nice to see you after a long time.
Yeah, same
Really
here.
saying now, I saw somewhere, mommy, అని అడుగుతున్నాడు ఇప్పుడే.
Okay.
నువ్వు అంటే somewhere I saw mommy అంటున్నాడు.
Okay.
Nice to see you, ma'am.
Thanks, Andy. Any other questions? So anybody would like to ask any other questions, like the sessions what we spoke when we spoke about yoga, the koshas, any other things in terms of acupuncture, in terms of healing, or in terms of pranayama? Anything that anybody would like to ask? Anything?
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am. Please tell me.
this normally there will be some restrictions regarding pranayama before or after food. Anything associated with this, or any particular time of the day you would like to tell which is suitable?
Yeah, generally never do any of these practices when your stomach is full. Preferably 2.5 hours. After food, or don't even do when you're really very hungry.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the best time to do it is early in the morning.
Yeah.
And even you can also do this even before going to bed. It will really calm you down. It will give you a very, very good sleep.
Okay.
But again,
I'm
you
very
have to
good.
plan your timing of food. I mean, the time that you sleep and the time that you eat, you have to give it at least 2 hours gap. That's very
Exactly.
good.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Ma'am, very good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir. Please tell me.
Your propagation is really very useful and impressive. But in this
Okay, sir.
busy
Thank you so
world,
much.
we have to allot some time to do all these things. Can you specify how many minutes we have to sacrifice or make it useful in a day?
See, you can do this. You can do this. We did only 3 cycles. I mean, we did 3 rounds. You can do this 3 into 2, 3, 3, and 3. You can do this 9 rounds. That is really very good enough. You can, if you can spare that time. It will hardly take you 10 to 12 minutes max, 10 minutes max. If you do it very slowly, and I want you to do this very, very slowly with a lot of focus. And after each breath and with each sound and vibration that you finish, I want you to again take deep breaths, hold on to that awareness, be there present at the moment, and just feel those vibrations that you feel in the body. So that's very, very important. Even if you're doing 3 rounds, it's fine. But if you're able to do 3 and 3 and 3, 9 rounds, excellent. Very good. But try to do it in the morning as far as possible. Or
Thank you very
even if
much.
you want to do it twice, very good.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Anyone would like to talk? Okay, thank you so much. So thank you so much for all of you for attending this wonderful program, which is especially the most important requirement for these days. ఈ పాండమిక్ సిచ్యువేషన్స్ మొదలుకొని పీపుల్ అందరికీ కూడా హెల్త్ సైడ్ చాలా అవగాహన పెరిగింది అండ్ చాలా రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఆల్సో హ్యాస్ గోన్ అప్ లైక్ ఎనీథింగ్. సో దీస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఐ హోప్ దే విల్ సర్టన్లీ బి హెల్ప్ఫుల్ టు అస్ టు యాడ్ అప్ ఆన్ టు అవర్ కప్ ఆఫ్ టీ. మన దగ్గర ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ ప్రాక్టీసెస్ కి దిస్ విల్ సర్టన్లీ యాడ్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్ అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఫర్ షూర్. And thank you so much, Rachana Garu, for accepting our invitation and addressing the Rotarians and various members from different walks of life. Your program has been really helpful, and that will be sure, yes, it is going to add a lot of good benefits to the health of everyone. And yes, my dear members, Madam already chapter in that actually. There is another very important aspect, tapping and chip chapter actually, she hasn't completed that. So I would like to request ma'am to come once again in the following few weeks. I'll be scheduling that. So basing on your availability, if you can give us the time, we would like to cover that particular tapping sequence also to all our. That will be nice.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you so much, all of you, for the participation and the cooperation which you have given. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, ma'am. So yes, before closing this program, thank you all very much once again for giving your time and making this program successful. I request our secretary, Madambika Garu, to please give the vote of thanks. Madam, are you there?
Ha, sir. Good evening. Hello. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we are able to hear you.
Good evening, all respected Rotarians. Rotary song by J.S.N. Murthy Garu. Thank you so much, sir. Introduction of today's speaker, Srikanth Garu. Thank you. Rachana ma'am, today topic and very useful for all our Rotarians. It's a really wonderful program and session. Thank you so much. Vinay Garu, thank you for sharing the slides and all. Thank you so much, Vinay Garu. Thank you, one and all the participants. Thank you so much. Thank you, President Garu.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, for your vote of thanks. So, my dear Rotarians, so hence this particular meeting on the 6th December on health and the meetup with the families has been adjourned. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. The meeting is left for social networking.
everyone.